Okay, we left off 88 on the bottom paragraph. Misil Sishorim. V'omnam chachamenu zcharim v'rocho asher runu v'jrichunu tomid darki emes. Chachamim of blessed memory who have always directed us and led us continuously on the path of truth. Omru ehov ehaves amalocha sneis rabbonos v'kiobos. You should love work, but you should despise rabbonos. He said, hate rabbinic positions. There's all kinds of ways to explain this. Meaning, even if a person becomes a Rav, you should love the responsibility, but the kavod, the honor that's given, that you should despise that part of the rabbonos. That's where they explain it. It's known the Chavetz Chaim never accepted a rabbinical position because of the mission of Pirkei Avos, ever. So there was once an incident with the Chavetz Chaim where his position had to be recognized by the Polish government, and they would not recognize it because he never, for that reason, even took rabbinic ordination. The Chavetz Chaim would not take rabbinical ordination. Because it says that he held that would put him in the position he would take a rabbonos. If rabbonos was offered to him, he said, "Look, I'm not qualified because I don't have smicha." That was right, but there was a time he had to be recognized by the Polish government as a rav. So the Aruch HaShulchan, who was the posek hador at the time, Aruch HaShulchan, who lived in Nevardik, he lived in Radin, so he sent him on the telegraph. Yori Yodin Yodin. That's what he typed out on the telegraph. He gave him the smicha. Until then, because of this mishnah, ehov v'samalocho sneis rabbonis. He didn't need the Rebbe. He's the rabbi, as teacher, not as rov as the rabbinic position. Look, we have Rabbi Griffel. He's also Rabbi, right? Let's go Rabbi. Okay. V'amru od. Howard's thinking of changing his name. Okay. V'amru od. Shod nivelto b'shuk v'lotova gav rabano. Shod nivloto. Flay a carcass in the market and do not say, I'm a great person, it's beneath my dignity. Kano. Ano, I'm a Kohen, it's beneath my dignity. That a person should even engage in a work position, which is foreign to, unfamiliar to him, instead of being dependent on others. People, it's beneath his dignity, but you want to take charity. Klal HaDvarim, what's the principle? He says, honor is of the greatest pitfalls, traps that present themselves to a person, to a human being. It's not possible to be a faithful servant to his maker, to one's maker, if you're concerned about your own honor. Because you're going to have to minimize the honor of heaven because of your foolishness. Because you have to deal with your own issues. He says, it became lesser than this, it blew in my eyes. Famous story of Shub ben Chananya with the Bas Kesar at the Martinus. Shub ben Chananya was the person the Roman emperor would consult with. And as they say, he was as ugly as sin. That's how ugly he was. And the Bas Kesar, the daughter of the emperor, saw him and says, how could such beautiful wisdom be contained in such an ugly vessel? So, this whole story with the wines. Afterwards, she says, but your colleagues, they're also great. He says, if they'd be uglier, they'd be even greater. So Rashi says that a person considers himself attractive to some degree. You're always addressing that, your looks, to be able to be accepted by others. That's part of your mindset, to attend to that need, because you're valued by others because of your looks. But a person, regardless of what he does, it's hopeless help. It doesn't do anything. So then you don't. So you're more humble. And because of the humility, therefore you're greater. But that's kavod. That's beneath my dignity. It's not appropriate. It's this, that, whatever it may be. No, doesn't say David was handsome. Doesn't say he was handsome. David HaMelech. He was ruddy. He had a ruddy complexion. He was a redhead. Doesn't speak about that he was handsome. Joseph had beauty, tremendous beauty. Just the opposite. The reason why Yeshus Batifar had her eye on him, because he was Salsa Basaro. So that's a separate question, right? No. He didn't suppress it. Just the opposite. When things went well, he addressed his beauty. He made sure that the beauty should be recognized. But it says the Salsa Basaro. He fluffed his hair. So it's a separate discussion. That's something that had to do with Joseph. But it wasn't it doesn't say he was criticized for what he did. He says it's not appropriate. Your father is grieving for you, and that's what you focus on. But if it wouldn't have been that point, there wouldn't have been a claim against him. Because we always say, what did Joseph represent? Rachel was also had beauty. To show that he dedicated, despite the fact that he had such beauty, so you had to appreciate who was Yosef. Yosef was Yosef HaTzadik. But another person, which he doesn't have that level of representation, it's not you to be out there presenting that point. That this is something that was unique to Yosef. To be continued.